Hello and welcome to another STEM in the Box instructional video. Today we're looking at the animation example, the Pong game, and we're just going to run through all of the tasks, the core tasks and the extension tasks one by one for you to get some idea of what to do. The first one is to put some sounds, appropriate sounds for the different actions. So with the ball, the first thing is we need to put some sounds. We might want a sound when it hits the paddle and when it gets out. So let's go get two sounds. So go up here to sounds and let's find one. So I want a new one for, I'm going to add the zoop. Okay, so I just click on that and go. So the zoop is now in there. Yes, if it's too long, what you can do is that you can edit and delete part of it and that sort of thing. Okay, so I'm fine with that. So let's go get another one. So this new sound is going to be for when it gets out. So I want some sort of, bad type of sound. No, I want something chomp maybe. Yep. Okay, the bell. Why don't we do the bell? All right, that'll be good. We'll use that. And yep, we'll use the bell. Okay, great. So now the bell one's quite long, but that's all right because that's the end of the game, you see. So you don't want a long sound when the paddle is touching the ball because that only lasts for maybe half a second, whereas the end of the game lasts. But even if we want to cut that off a bit, this is how we do it. So we just might select that, go edit and cut that off. So let's play it now. Great. So I'm going to use the bell when the ball hits the red and gets out, and I'm going to use the zoop when the paddle hits the ball in that situation. Great. So first thing is go back to my scripts, and I've now got those sounds that appear now. Okay, so instead of the water drop when it's touching the paddle, I want the zoop. Okay, and down here when you've got the ball touching the red, I want to go and play the bell. So I just need to go to the sound and go and get play sound and put that in. Actually, I want to play sound until done because otherwise it's going to stop everything before it finishes playing the sound. So play sound until done, and that's the bell toll. Okay, so so now I've got sounds, and so let's just test that. Okay, so yeah, so the bell toll worked, but the game didn't stop until the bell finished. Okay, but that's exactly what we told it to do. Okay, so next one, change the Sprite costume with Sprite interactions. So what we need to do is go and put some different costumes here for that Sprite. So we've got, when it touches, let's make it some sort of explosion or something like that. Something to indicate action. You could go to the internet and get something and just import it, but I'm going to, it doesn't matter, there we have lightning, that will do. Okay, so my plan is to make when the ball touches the paddle, I'm going to shrink that down first of all, it's too big. Okay, so when the ball touches the paddle, I want the ball sprite to put the lightning costume on. Okay, So when you start changing costumes, you have to then at the very beginning set the costume. So in the beginning of the game, so let's go back. So now the ball sprite has different costumes. So in the beginning then, what we want to do is the paddle needs to be set here to, in the beginning, the paddle needs to be set to the costume that you want it to use in the normal course of events, which would be this green ball. So what I'm going to do is go to looks and then go to the switch costume, okay, and I'm just going to put this up the top. Now, I don't want lightning, I'm just going to make that just the ball, okay. I'll move that down out of the way. Okay, so when do you want the costume of the ball to change? You want the costume of the ball to change to lightning when it's touching the paddle, which is over here. So in addition to playing the sound, what you want is to swap to the lightning costume, but then you want it to swap back, you see, when as soon as you've moved away. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go to switch costume to, as soon as you touch the paddle, it's going to switch to the lightning, but then and then it bounces, and then it's going to move 5 steps, and then we're going to switch back to our normal ball. Okay, if we don't, it's going to stay the lightning the whole time, and we don't want that. So switch the costume back to the ball here. Okay, so let's check that now. Oh no. That didn't work. Okay, what I'm going to do is just cut that bell sound down because it's too long and it's interfering with the gameplay there. It's making it very odd. So what I'm going to do is go to sounds and then click on the bell, and I'm going to shrink that down to maybe about that much, or even a little bit less maybe. Yep, okay, so that should solve one problem. You're not seeing the lightning because this is happening too quickly. It's only 5 steps before it turns back into the balls. Just put a delay in there or something like that would be the other thing to do. So let's just try a delay. So we'll just put wait 1 second in there. So let's try that now. You see? So that's a little bit too long now. So we might just make that 0.3. Okay, so just a bit of trial and error. Yep. Okay, that's working. Oops. Okay, good, that's working. So that 0.3 delay there is required so that you're seeing it basically for 1/3 of a second plus as long as it takes to play the zoop sound. You're seeing the lightning costume, okay, before it turns back into the ball. That's why we need to do that. Create multiple balls. So that is fairly straightforward. All we need to do there is we've got this sprite here, and all we need to do is just duplicate it. Okay, so it'll duplicate all of the code as well. So you'll see that it will have exactly the same code. So when you duplicate the sprite, all the code will come with it. So its behavior will be the same. Okay, and then you can go and modify that sprite if you liked. So what we are going to have to do is change where what the second ball looks like if we want to, or we definitely have to change where it starts from and what direction, so that it goes off in a different direction. Okay, so let's start it at x negative 50 or something like that, over onto the left like that, and let's make it instead of 45, we'll make it negative 45. All right, so we'll go the other way. So I'll just type negative 45 in there. Negative 45. Okay, so let's test that now. So now we've got two balls, you see. Now this game's obviously going to be way too difficult to play right now with two balls going at that speed with one paddle. It's not going to be doable, but I'm not going to fix it now because this is the extension activity anyway, so you should be able to get that. Creating two paddles, well, that's exactly the same as I did just then. So you would right click over the paddle and you would duplicate that, and then what you're going to have to do is you are going to have to go and change its costume if you wish, so that it looks a little bit different, and you have to go and change its script. So this is the second paddle, so instead of using the left arrow, you're going to have to go back to just setting it to the mouse like that. Okay, so if we start now, one's going to be the mouse and one's going to be the arrow keys. Okay, great. Now what you're going to have to do now is go back and finish these off. Well, I haven't done that properly, but this is an extension activity, so I'm not going to finish it all. So we've got our two sprites, our two balls, our two paddles, and you're going to have to update your algorithm, your code, and your comments appropriately. Okay, great. Thanks for listening.